This is a little embarrassing, but I kind of forgot your name.
I don't know if we ever got there.
Yeah, I know we didn't. We were pretty drunk. I'm Micah.
Angela.
Nice to meet you, Angela.
You have no idea the amount of ignorance we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Come on, prepare and let's rapper taste on it, you know?
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with Micah.
Hey.
Terrence.
What's up?
And Rob.
Hola.
All right, so we are back for episode 10, Medicine for Melancholy, the 2008 independent film directed by Barry Jenkins, starring Wyatt Cenac and Tracey Heggins. Okay, so as usual, we'll go with impressions. So we're going to try something a little new this week. We're going to give our impressions of the movie on a scale of 1 to 10 and then sort of go into a little bit of detail. Terrence, up first.
I don't know. I would probably give this a 5 or a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Am I supposed to go into that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't. This is possibly one of the most boring movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I didn't like it. It's not a bad movie, but I just didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't care for the characters. I didn't care for the stylistic choices it took. I didn't like it.
Okay, that's fair. Micah?
I don't like rating things out of 10, so I'm going to rate it out of 5.
You used to always tell me that you wanted things out of 10.
No, I want it out of 5.
I agree with him, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Terrence, out of 5 then.
2.
Okay, 2 out of 5.
Likewise, 2.
2 out of 5. And go ahead.
Look, I get it, but like Terrence said, the movie to me was just kind of boring. Like I questioned whether or not we would have enough to talk about.
Right.
You know, in this hour when we do this, but I guess we could talk about the themes of the movie and not necessarily the movie.
Yeah, I think the themes are more important.
Yeah, because the movie was
Boring.
yeah. It was kind of boring.
Okay, go ahead, Rob.
I think I'd also give it a 2, but only because I was at home. If I saw this at the theater, I would have been more into it. I would have paid a lot more attention. Whereas I'm at home and I got shit to do, and I'm just distracted while I'm watching this kind of boring movie. It's boring, but it's not. I mean, I got into it, but at the same time, I didn't like what these characters were doing, so I couldn't really get so far into it because I was kind of annoyed with them.
Okay, all right. I would give it. So that's 3 2 out of 5s.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go the other way. I'd probably give it 3.5 to a 4, somewhere around there.
Wow.
And the reason why is because I think the themes are pretty. There are parts that are very slow, and that is, I've seen a lot of super indie movies. That is just par for the course, right? Probably closer to like maybe a 3.5. But I think the themes are really good. I think it is an interesting take on a boy meets girl story that you don't see often, which is what I really liked about it. But we'll get more into it. But no, it's good. I'm glad the opinions are not, we all like it. Well, clearly it's not.
Yeah.
It might be the other way.
One.
I am the cheese that stands alone here. But all right, so we'll get into it. So interesting enough, this movie was first filmed or screened rather at South by Southwest, the Maryland Film Festival, and Toronto International Film Festival. So it is very much an indie movie. This is not going to be a mainstream film at all. So just if you haven't seen the movie at this point, pause the show, go watch it. It's on Netflix and YouTube, and then come back. Okay, so let's talk about the general plot. First out, so Wyatt Cenac from The Daily Show, and we all know him. He plays Micah.
Shut up.
Yes. Is it spelled the same?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would be upset if it wasn't spelled that way.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, no Y's, no K's. No
I would have
extra
preferred.
H's.
I would have preferred MYKAH.
I've seen a Micah spelled like that.
Wow, that's
and
obnoxious.
I went up
Can I
in the face, but it was a woman. So
Can I ask you a
couldn't do
question? Can I ask you a question, Micah? That might make you feel a bit better. At what age did you learn to not be a creeper?
I don't know, maybe 3, 4.
Damn. Okay.
Bullshit.
I'm just putting.
I've known you since you were 14. It was like 25. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Did you learn before this guy?
Yeah, this 20-something who looks like he's 30-something.
I don't think he's a creeper. What about?
I don't think he's a creeper.
I don't think so.
I think he's a dick.
I think he doesn't get a fucking message. She didn't want anything to do with him.
Well,
That was
apparently she did because
Well, she's a weirdo. Because she wanted nothing to do with him, and then he shows up. Oh, okay, you can hang out here while I take a shower. And
no,
play
but
my guitar.
that's the thing, and that's why I want to get into this movie because there are a lot of things that are very surface in ways of looking at it, and then there are a lot of other things that are not said that make the reason why she does the things that she does makes it much more apparent. It makes more sense. Like her interaction with him is a lot more than just hooking up. So, well, let's talk about the plot first before we even get into this. So, the plot is these two characters, Micah and Joe, wake up together. Joanna is her full name. They wake up after a one-night stand. They don't even remember each other's names. They clearly had been heavily drinking at some party. They hooked up, whatever. They get in a cab, or they go get some coffee. They get in a cab. She gets dropped off, and they go their separate ways. She unfortunately forgets her wallet. He picks up the wallet, tracks her down, and then they basically spend the day together. And there's a whole, the myriad of other things that go on between that. So to me, I what I liked about the movie was, or one of the things actually I didn't like about the movie was the first 10 minutes, right? Before you got to the credits, it was slow. It was incredibly slow, right? It was just, okay, we're going to get coffee, drinking in real time. It felt like, walking in real time.
Yes, in real time of him trying to talk to her and her obviously saying, I don't like what happened last night.
Right, she feels ashamed of herself.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be near you.
Right. I mean, she's the entire time she's like holding her sweater over, like she doesn't even want him looking at her because she feels so embarrassed.
The plight of all Micahs everywhere.
That is incredibly fucking. Damn,
That is
a little dark.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've hit the depression section.
A glimpse into the mind of Micah. What?
Thank God you have a girlfriend because that statement would have been fucked up. Every girl always just tries to walk away from me. Like, God bless.
All right.
Every Micah is sad. Every Micah comes with Zoloft in his
Because her
pocket.
name is Micah. Like what the like? All right, no, you're about to open old wounds. Keep going.
Oh God. So all right. So she gives him at first. Joe gives him a fake name. Says that her name is Angela. Clearly she just doesn't want to have anything to do with Micah, and he clearly thinks, "Hey, I hooked up with this black woman. I'm gonna make something happen. I'm gonna try to be the nice guy." Did you? Is that the part where you thought he was a creep?
Well, before we continue, we need to say that this movie is set in San Francisco, and San Francisco has a very, very, very low African American population rate.
7%.
Yeah.
So and now I think we can continue. We need to set that.
Yeah,
up
that's a good point.
so that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Micah, I love it. I'm so glad we're never doing a movie with my name in it. So Micah,
You don't know that.
no, I don't know that. Yeah, I might speak a little too soon. So Micah tracks down Joe, and he goes to her apartment, and basically returns her wallet, and she lets him in. Which I don't know. That doesn't sound like something she would have done, looking at her character the minutes before that.
Right. It was a little weird. Like, how do you make that 180? I'd be like, thanks for the wallet. Bye.
Click.
Exactly.
Close the door. But I think, to me, what I saw was she even recognized that there is a connection between the two of them because they're black.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after watching this boring movie, I actually did think about it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, there are 2 black people out of like 6 in the whole goddamn in the whole city.
Yeah.
So it's like we got to stick together kind of thing, but
Right.
still.
Now, I mean, so when they're in her apartment, they're having a little bit of a conversation. It's like pretty light bullshit, right? And then he finds out that she has a boyfriend. She admits that she lives there with her boyfriend who's paying the mortgage, and she's not paying anything. She's kind of a moocher. Because she don't pay for shit the entire movie. They go out. She didn't pay for anything.
No, she paid for the cab ride. She didn't know she paid for the cab ride.
That's true. Yes. That was the only way that any dollars were coming out of her pocket. So Micah finds out that she has a boyfriend, and here is his reaction.
Is he white?
Does it matter?
Yes and no.
Well, what if I told you he is white and we met in a volunteer program in Bayview? Would that matter?
Yes and no.
Oh, okay. I see you. You're one of those people.
Those people.
Yes, those people that think that Black History Month is in February because it's the shortest month in the year.
It is.
Black History Month is in February because Carter G. Woodson wanted Negro History Week to coincide with the births of Frederick Douglass and Lincoln, both in the same week in February.
She kind of fucking schooled his ass too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of black people believe that shit.
This is where it gets into the theme that I really like in this film is the whole
Black History Month?
yes. it's the
People named Micah being stupid.
well they are. We all know that.
Yeah, exactly. I
They're
don't know why that doesn't even matter.
They're creepy. They follow women home. They get wasted apparently at parties. Where it's always that mentality of I'm going to define myself as this one solid thing versus just make that a part of you because you're more than that, but respect that just the same.
Right. I agree with you. I think it is a theme that runs throughout the entire movie, and I liked the interaction. We don't have the clip of it because it was sort of hard to hear in the movie. But when she picks up the phone, when her boyfriend calls, he picks up the phone and he's in London, London. When she picks up the phone, she's like, "Oh, hey, love," and she's all fucking happy and shit because he's there, because Micah's there. She's putting on airs for that. And then there's a later conversation she has with her boyfriend on the phone that is completely different when Micah isn't there. So like there is that level of she puts on like, oh, things are going great. You know, he's white, but it's cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. But then, you know, when it's just one-on-one with them, she has this major connection with him because he's black, and she doesn't have a connection for whatever reason. You don't know why with this actual boyfriend that she's mooching off of and living with. Well, she is mooching off of him. The fuck? You know, banging other dudes and dudes paying the mortgage. That's fucked up. I don't care if you're white or black. That's fucked up.
That's what bothered me. I'm just like, you're in a relationship and you're cheating on your boyfriend pretty constantly for like 2 days straight. It was
At least it was the same guy, right? Is that a bonus? Is that a bonus, guys? It was the same dude.
It was just one dick.
Yeah, it was just one. A couple times, but just one. But I like that scene. But yeah, Micah clearly has some serious issues with race. He jumps back onto it every chance he gets.
Why are you racist?
Yes, please explain it to us.
It's in my nature.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm starting to have problems.
Is that just being black?
I'm starting to have problems with the name thing too. It's really starting to creep
Oh,
me out.
Creeping me the fuck out,
you know what? It's funny because I'm not having a problem with it at all. At all. I'm actually enjoying it. So Mike is a passive aggressive asshole. No, I'm kidding. But it is interesting that here you have Joe, who is with this clearly wealthy white dude, because those houses, I know where those houses are. That's like Golden Gate Park. Those houses are expensive. So here she is with this white guy, using him to, you know, finance her life. And here you have Micah on the other side, this poor black guy. You see his apartment.
Yeah.
That apartment is the size of this room.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an extra bedroom in my house. But that's all he has. So it's interesting that she connects with him, even though she has this pretty grand life on the other side. So from there, they have this. Everything is always a question. Like it's always like this challenge back and forth between the two of them, and it's always who is identifying as blacker. I guess like that's what I feel like. It's some ways a contest. In some ways, he's like trying to like bring her on board.
Yeah, because he's finally found a black person
who's cool, fucking into the same shit as him.
Right. And he obviously wants to hang on to her.
Right.
So he's kind of interviewing her, I think. And, trying to feel her out and see what type of black person she is. Is she, Huey Freeman black? or is she, or is she
Uncle Ruckus black?
A cornball sister.
Yeah, a cornball sister. Yeah, as
Rob
Rob Parker would probably put it. And so I kind of like I get it. I get what's going on.
Absolutely.
Especially because you've been to San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco. When I was in San Francisco, me and the person I was with were the only black people that I saw all 3 days.
Yeah, For me, I saw a few more black people like that, but they were painted silver and dancing near the boardwalk for money. So that is not an exaggeration.
So I get it. If you want to,
it's a white ass town, dude. It just is.
If you want to identify, and people naturally try to gravitate towards people that look like them.
Yes.
So if you want to,
that's why you guys are all here.
if you want to, have a social life, but you still want to be black,
right?
Whatever that
San
means.
Francisco isn't the town to be in, and this is the problem I have with the fucking movie.
No, but he's born and raised there, so
well,
get up
so
and move.
fucking what? Right? Like I mean, you're so angry that why is it 7% black? That's nothing different.
But he's the number 2 aquarium guy.
You're 20-something years old. It's been like this your entire life. There's nothing.
Right.
Nothing has changed. So what are you so pissed off about? If you want to beat more black people, go to fucking Oakland.
Right.
Yeah.
Bridge,
I mean, shit. What
but,
the fuck?
Right, but I think. Well, I agree with you. But as a person who has both been to Oakland and San Francisco, I'd rather.
You probably want to stay. And I understand that. But
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey.
It gets a little rough over there.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
but
it's browner, not necessarily better. It's just not. But that being said,
house.
That's true. You get a house. But that being said, moving out of where he is, he wouldn't be around. Like you look at the culture in which he hangs out. He is very like pro-black, trying to find somebody who's black. Blackity black, black, black. Like that's who he is. But he goes to parties. The party that they wake up in, everyone there is white. He's not anti-white. He just is trying to find that one connection, somebody he can be with.
And they got cereal.
What?
I found that line hilarious. When they wake up and they're leaving, and the one guy's like, "Don't go, I have cereal."
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just.
I
leave.
must have glossed over that.
It was the only guy that talked to him. He said, "Hey guys, you want to stay?"
Yeah, when he
I got cereal.
Oh, the dude. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At the beginning,
So drunk, so hungover.
Hungover watching this movie,
but he's not. Micah's not anti-white. He's just trying to find that one connection, and it's a pretty important connection. If that's who you're gonna spend a lot of your time with or the rest of your life with, you should find somebody who has a connection with you. That being said, for some people it's not race. For some people it really is. For him, it really is. So
well, I question that. Now we'll get to what I think is the real reason why he's, pro black. I'm black, y'all. Later on, but I think that well, let's get into it now.
yeah, go for it.
Like
because that's what I'm saying. The themes of this movie are much more important than the movie itself.
We find out that Micah had a very hard breakup with a girl.
Took that bitch's bike.
and who happened to be white.
Yes.
And to me, this character took this breakup very, very hard and he's doing the thing that we all do, where we do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this white girl screwed me over, so fuck white people. You know,
Yeah.
I
Or
think,
at least fuck white women.
yeah, and I think that's
That's what I do.
No.
God. And I think that's the, I think
You set
that-
that. You set him up for that. Yeah. You really did.
Yeah, you really did. God damn it, Mike.
and I think that's what this character is going through. I don't think this character is necessarily full on, you know, like you said, he's been in San Francisco all his life. He obviously loves it, and he obviously knows what the deal is.
Yes.
Right. But
So-
that doesn't mean it does. Look, I know the deal about Baltimore. Some shit pisses me off. It just does. I tried to leave, came back, you know, but there are things. I mean, I think you can have, you know, I mean, he says it, and I couldn't find the goddamn clip, but he says, you know, I love this. I hate the city,
Yeah,
but I love the
it's like,
city.
I hate the city.
But I love the city at the same time. And you know what? I got a kind of a love-hate relationship with Baltimore. It's like there's some things I'm like, really, we can't get this shit together. And
I
then
have
you,
a hate relationship with Baltimore.
well, that's why you don't live here. That's why you live in the county where it's safe.
It's not that different.
No, it's not really. But I understand the idea of despising some aspects of where you live and loving other aspects of it. Sure.
See, what Mike is bringing up with our real life Micah is bringing up is my issue with him is that there's race and there's culture. He's not dwelling on the culture as much as he is just dwelling on the race. And that's where I think a problem comes up, where he's just like black, 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 black. He's not really talking about black culture, which is something that you should embrace. You should, if that's something that's a part of you and defines you, then hell yes, embrace it and love it, cherish it. But don't just make it about your skin color.
Yeah, don't.
I agree with that.
Don't be bugging out. Like, why ain't no black people in this city? Like, don't be bugging out.
What are you doing on my side of the block? Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with that. And he's a frustrating character. Micah's a frustrating character in a lot of ways, because you're like, dude, you got this girl. It's going pretty well. Look, even if it doesn't last, it's still going pretty well for these 2 days. Stop fucking it up by going,
Yeah, shut the fuck up about race. Dude.
yeah. And that's the thing. I was just like, okay, that's happening. And he's like, did you ever think about it being 7% of the population? God damn it, shut up.
She's like, no. No.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of conversation is this?
Right.
Shut up. I was getting
Do you have a
pissed.
clip of that weird ass conversation they had?
The 7% thing?
No, well, was it the 7% one where he just was straight up? How do you see yourself?
Yeah, I have that for later.
Okay,
yeah,
because
we have it.
ugh.
Yeah. Now, okay. Here's another thing I thought was a small, sort of a small thing, but it was interesting. When they were in her apartment, they're talking about their names, right? And I'll play the clip, and then I'll tell you what I think of it.
Can we try this again? Micah.
Joann.
I know. It's Hardwick with an E. Can I call you Joe? Cool.
Can I call you Mike?
No. It's not the same.
I think he identifies Mike as a white name. I really do. I think he's like, Micah is a unique name, and I think that's why. I think it's exactly the reason for him.
It's
Mike.
I'll agree with him. Like, it's not the same. Like, you can't, like,
Right.
don't call me Mike. But
your dad calls you Mike.
calls me Mike, but
You're not allowed to beat up your dad.
well, yeah, and like there's some other reasons. Like my original name was going to be Michael. I was gonna be named after him.
Right.
But he didn't want me. He had this whole sins of the father thing, and he didn't
Right.
want me to have his name because, he didn't want, as if that would pass any evils that he may have done to me.
It's funny because going with Micah didn't really stop it from happening.
But
I know your dad.
Like nobody, like no, don't call me Mike.
It's like I didn't actually think of it that way, because some people, when I meet them, I tell them that my name is Terrence, and I'm like, hey, they're like, hey, can I call you Terry? I'm like, absolutely not.
No,
You cannot call me Terry. My name is Terrence, and it's not shorter. 2 syllables. You stupid son of a bitch. like that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Oh shit. So I mean, that's what I took from it, but I didn't really think about.
I never assume that it's okay to call anyone by a shorter name. If they go, "Hi, my name is Terrence," I go, "Okay, it's Terrence." That's the name they are going with. I'm not like, how about Bob? Like, why are we negotiating what my name is?
Oh, can I call you T? Like, no.
Go fuck yourself. Get out of here. Yeah, I don't get that, but I did think he was trying to separate himself from what is normally seen as a white guy name.
Normally, I would say you're reading too much into that, but with this particular character,
he reads into everything.
Yeah, that's a completely valid argument.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so then we get treated to Micah and Joe heading to. She had to go drop make an errand, right? So he was like, "All right, I'll tag along." She was cool with that. What I found interesting about this is the scene where she goes into the museum to deal with somebody in the stead of her boyfriend because he's a museum curator. What I found the most interesting was her conversation with her boyfriend on the phone was completely different in tone than it was when Micah was around in her apartment. She's just like, "That's the answer." Like she was not happy. She clearly doesn't enjoy talking to him.
And she said something like, "You always seem unhappy." To him while she was talking to him.
You hate everything or something like that.
Something along basically negative.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but she's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk.
Right. And why did she keep him from coming in with her?
Because she didn't want anybody who worked there
to
see them
to
together.
see. He was like a friend of mine. We rode bikes.
Whatever.
The only other black guy in the city?
Yeah. Two black people. They're mating. All right, let's get real.
Racist shit.
Yeah, well, exactly.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
They're mating.
Yeah.
Can't you smell it?
Yeah. That's gross. But I'm just saying, like, that's what people would think immediately. Like, yeah, 2 black people, they're clearly together. Like, that's my cousin. Like, whatever. But Micah stays outside and waits for her while she does this errand, and she comes out, and she is like happy fucking go lucky the second she sees it.
Well, I think she had that sombering conversation, and she was just. I think she might have been just a little ticked off. So it's just like, all right, you know what?
I'm all in.
Right, let's do this. Let's hang out today and see where this goes. So I think that's what that was.
Okay, and I think that's a valid point. Now they have a conversation outside as to what they're going to do. With their day. So I'm going to play a little bit of that.
What's up?
What now?
Let's go to MoMA.
I don't want to go to MoMA.
What's wrong with MoMA?
No comment.
Okay, black man. So what do 2 black folks do on a Sunday afternoon?
Go to church, eat fried chicken. What do 2 black folks not do on a Sunday afternoon?
What?
Go to a museum.
That is not funny.
It is funny.
It's not funny.
It's funny because it's not funny.
So she offered, if you couldn't quite hear that because there's all the traffic noise, she offers to go to MoMA, which is the Museum of Modern Art. He says, no comment. Let's go do something else. They end up going to MOAD, which is the Museum of the African Diaspora. So he's fine with going to the museum, but it's got to be a black museum. Which, that's fine. That's a good thing. But his initial comment is no comment of why he doesn't want to go to MoMA, which is they ain't got no black people up on the wall. Like that's the fucking that's the reason why he's saying it. Yeah, but that's the reason why he's saying it. There isn't any appreciation for black art. I would argue he's not wrong. It's just that it's seen under such a heavy lens of racial issues. Like it's just like, dude, just take it easy. Just take it easy. Just a second.
Like now is not the time. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but not in this situation. Like sometimes I can actually be that way sometimes my damn self. I probably would have been like, no, myself, I'm not going to the Museum of Modern Art. I don't want to. I probably wouldn't have gone to Moab either. But
Well, what did black people do on a weekend? Not go to a
I
museum.
would have went to fucking KFC and got some
Some
fried
fried
chicken.
chicken.
But
was
I
a
mean,
pretty good idea.
I get where he's coming from, but it's just the wrong situation.
Well, he's so over the top.
Yeah, you can be tactful about it. Like you lack tact.
Fuck the white man's museum.
Fuck the white man's art.
Yeah, like that doesn't seem reasonable.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, if I lived in San Francisco, I'd be kind of like, damn, ain't no black people here. But I wouldn't, as soon as I find a black person, immediately start grilling them on every situation that they do.
There's a level of like just straight up black checking. Like,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
You need to be mo black,
right?
Like,
and that's one thing I can't stand checking of any kind.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Now, when they are in the Museum of the African Diaspora, they're sort of going through all these exhibits, and they're sitting in this one exhibit, and there's this audio talking about, basically someone, taking the role of a slave, and it's just the audio that you hear, and talking about their experiences as they're being led on slave ships and things like that. Yeah. And I think it's a pretty powerful moment. I think it was well shot. Her reaction, she just like fucking done, like clam up, because she's not used to being in that world at all, acknowledging any level of race at all. She's used to just being like, yeah, I'm just a girl in San Francisco. It's like, no, sweetheart, you still black, and people see you as black. And I think there are a number of times where she just realizes, one, that Micah's fucking all over the place and over the top about it, but that he's not necessarily wrong about a lot of things. And I think that's where she gets lost, and then she sort of comes back to him all the time.
Yeah, I just don't be a dick.
Yeah,
I just like don't be a dick.
Right. Well, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think there's a little bit more to it than that. I think he's fucked up. I think that breakup really fucked him up.
Like that's the crux stuff. And when that gets revealed in the movie, it's like, okay, all right, this is why he's being a dick. Like just because he's bitter, and he's still bitter, but he doesn't want to admit it. He's using.
He may not even know that.
Right. He's using his blackness as a shield to keep himself from hurting.
Right, and to beat people over the head with too.
Yeah.
So
Operation Hide Behind the Darkies.
Yeah,
he's the Isaiah Bradley of black hipsters, the black Captain America of hipsters, using his black shield as both defense and offense.
Yeah, I mean, he really is, and he does a pretty good job of beating her over the head with it, and to the point where it's like you fucking up a good thing here, buddy.
Yeah, he's just. I agree. Don't be a dick. Don't be such a.
Like, it's perfectly fine to, like you said earlier, Rob, it's perfectly fine to be in tune with your culture.
Yeah.
And want to be around it. But while you're trying to be accepting, don't push others out either.
Now, and he could have, like you said, with tact, with the whole Momo versus Moab thing. There's tact. He could have just said.
You could have said, "Nah, let's go to this museum."
Yeah, he said, "I got a better idea. I want to go do this. I want to experience this with you. I want to do this with you." Instead of just, "Fuck that." Okay, maybe we can do that instead. But fuck that. I mean, he's just being an obnoxious dick.
Right. Now they do they go to the museum. They go back to his apartment, which Jesus, man, I need apartments to be a lot bigger in San Francisco. This is like ridiculous. Enough for a bed and a bike, and one aquarium. They go back to his apartment, and so they're sitting there, they're hanging out. There's some decent interactions and stuff like that, and that's where Joe finds out that Micah's ex-girlfriend was in fact white by looking on his MySpace page, which is hilarious since this movie was taped in 2008.
Yeah, I was like, I saw MySpace. It actually took me a second to remember that was a real thing.
It's like people actually use
it.
It
still exists.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, it does.
It does.
I missed that whole MySpace
people still
train,
use it,
man.
which I don't even get
I
that.
never use it, actually.
Nope,
so.
neither did I. I didn't either.
I just had an issue with her getting on his computer.
I didn't. I didn't at all. He was walking
Yeah,
through her apartment.
He was like rummaging through all her
That okay?
shit.
I forgot about that. That was so fucking like he peeked in on her when she was taking a shower.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
get-
pretty
yeah. I
kinda
mean,
did.
I get that.
That's what I'm like. Wow.
They already slept together.
And when he did it, I'm like, that's kind of, oh, well, he already saw it naked. Whatever.
Like he's probably like, well, I was drunk. I couldn't remember.
Right, he couldn't remember.
What was that? Oh, it isn't titties.
So yeah, I mean, I get that. I don't approve of it, but but I get it. So yeah, I mean, no, I'm not gonna really hate on her for rummaging through his shit. I think it just shows that they both have zero boundaries. You're hooking up with some dude while your boyfriend is out of town. Zero boundaries. You're black checking somebody you met 12 minutes ago. Zero boundaries. So it's like that's how they roll. They don't give a fuck. Just like I'm just gonna say or do whatever the hell I want. Damn the consequences. So I mean that's just kind of how they roll. Now it was interesting. You get okay. So you get a sense that Micah is obviously bitter because of his former interracial relationship, and clearly Micah has serious problems with interracial dating, which there is a fantastic clip at the end that we'll get into later, but it's all pretty apparent at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
no kidding. What are your general thoughts? Rob, I know you are in an interracial relationship. I am in an interracial marriage.
I've never dated anyone outside my race.
Okay. And Micah hasn't either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and I've dated all colors. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
It's been all over the
You
place.
catch that? Oh, I've dated tons of women.
Tons of women.
Fucking James Bond over here. I've dated.
I've been around the world.
That just means you're a whore, sir.
God bless.
Hey, no lie, ran into an old friend sitting there with me, my girlfriend, my best friend, and a friend of his. And he's like, well, I remember you. Yeah, you used to be a big old man whore. I'm like,
Shut up.
what the fuck?
Not helping me, man.
All right, so let me ask you guys, since you guys are
Experienced? Yes.
Yeah, experienced in this. What? How do you feel? Like you've both broken up with white women before. How do you like? You obviously weren't embittered to the point that Micah was. What was it like? Can you see where he's coming from?
Yeah, I would argue that that's not necessarily true. When I broke up with my girlfriend before I met my wife, I was pretty fucking bitter. I was pretty angry. I was pretty angry.
Obviously.
Now, from a racial standpoint, I would argue it might have been a little bit of that. Yeah, you just like because you're just grasping on for something. You're like, fuck you, obviously, specifically you, but perhaps people who also look like you get thrown into the pot. They just do, and it's not fair. It's just not fair.
And I can agree with that. Like you have a terrible breakup. You don't want anything that reminds you of what you just had. Now,
I ain't gonna date a redhead. How about that? Yeah. Just saying. The next person I pick is not gonna be a redhead. It's not.
Wait, the next person you pick?
No, I'm saying.
I caught that. What the fuck does that mean? It's like I have my pick of the list there.
he's got a wheel in his room that he just spins, and he's gonna black out the redhead one, and then respin if it lands on that one.
Oh shit, that's
Aren't
funny.
we vain?
I will choose one of those.
I choose you.
I can't wait for your wife to listen.
Yeah. She is a 5'1" tough person. I'm a little afraid right now.
Ball of fire.
Yeah, she is.
Ball of death in a minute.
Yeah. But no, I mean what I meant to say is not pick. Okay, I wouldn't even put myself in a position to go after try to even meet somebody who reminded me physically of the last person. I was like, fuck that. I mean, you've met my ex. Yeah. You know my wife. They are literally on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Literally.
Now,
in every way.
With the racial, the hardcore racial aspect he's going through, I never had that kind of reaction, mostly because I've always hated that attitude in general.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate white women. I wasn't like, fuck white women. I just, at a point, it's like, let me look elsewhere. Significantly.
I could never wrap myself around race like that, though. And it's, my whole family has been that way in that, like, we've had the conversation before about talking white. And that kind of pushed me away from that kind of attitude to begin with. It kind of made me say, screw you. I am what I am and who I am. And my culture is another thing entirely, but I'm not going to wrap myself around what my skin color is. So I never had that kind of visceral reaction. I can get that. I understand that reaction in that he's been in a whole different situation than I've been as just growing up, as he said, born and raised in San Francisco, where he kind of had to cling to that skin color thing because he's one of like 6 people walking around. So I can get it to a point. I don't approve of it. I don't think it makes him right, but I can understand why he's in that frame of mind.
Plus, we also don't know how soon this relationship.
That's the other thing I was just thinking. Like, how soon is this a rebound thing that's happening right now?
I think it's a rebound thing because when she goes to his MySpace page, it's pretty close to the top. And my guess is it's pretty recent. A couple weeks, a month, I don't know, but probably fairly recent.
Also, how old do you have to be to sit there and make big graphics about the girl you just broke up with?
Yeah, I felt like that seemed to take a lot of work on my side.
Apparently he's an artist himself.
Yeah, he was.
He was
angry,
not happy.
Yeah, an
Sad
angry
man.
But like,
Sad Micah.
like for me, there were personality traits that I was like, go ahead, stay away from that. When I had my breakup.
But you wouldn't.
But I wasn't like, no, I'm banning white women. Like, no.
Like if Mary Jane walked to your door and said, "Face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot."
You know what? Then I hit the jackpot.
Okay, all right. And that's
I choose you.
And that's the difference.
Right.
Micah for some reason has this. He's completely gone the other direction.
Right, and I mean. Yeah, I mean it is fascinating, but I do get it to a degree. Because you're trying to figure out what is it about the relationship that failed. Was it a racial thing? I mean, we don't know that either. Was it like her parents were like, I don't want you dating this dude, because he's black?
Can I say this?
I mean, you don't know. You have no idea.
If this were a comic book, this would be the beginning of a supervillain.
Yes, I believe that's true. I was besmirched by a white woman,
a really
and
racist supervillain.
Now black man has been born. But I get it to a degree. It's frustrating, but I get it. I understand it. But I feel like, all right, you found somebody that you're vibing with. Don't focus on the fucked up shit. Focus on the stuff that's positive. Now, of course, their relationship is tumultuous anyway because she's got a boyfriend and you met in a one-night stand. This is a recipe for disaster. So, I don't know. Okay, from there, let's talk about in their apartment, Micah has a poster, which is about the Lower Haight. The Haight-Ashbury is an area in San Francisco. It's very famous, like big hippie movement and stuff like that. And it's basically about gentrification and a whole number of things. So Joe is reading the poster, and Micah comes over, talks to her about it.
You familiar with that?
Kinda. I'm a transplant.
Born and raised. My folks lived out there. Imagine the Lower Haight, nothing but black folks and white artists.
But why would you put it on your wall? I know you're not supposed to forget, but it's not like you would forget without seeing it every day.
Oh, no, it's not like that. People just walk around the city like everything's so perfect and it's all good and everything. And I don't know, this just reminds me, poor folks still got it hard. Like you look at Mission Bay and this poster's still relevant.
So it's a little of that, like, trying to bring you on board. She only has surface knowledge of the situation. He actually has like family members who have suffered through this.
And I appreciated that. Like I really appreciated that scene a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. There are parts of his character that I find to be incredibly frustrating, where he's just like shooting himself in the foot over and over and over again. But there are parts of it I'm like, somebody needs to put their foot in her ass because she doesn't get it. She is so wrapped up in quote unquote white or indie culture in San Francisco. She doesn't even understand her own culture, that's right there. Not
I don't think she wants to understand.
Right? Is that someone else's responsibility? Like,
no, it's
if
not.
she-
It's
if
not
she-
someone else's.
If she wanted to know that, she would seek it out.
I don't think she wants to because it's more difficult than to just say, I'm part of everything else, and just roll with it instead of realizing that there's a part of you that is not part of everything. Yes, you can be a part of everything else, but there's a part of you that isn't, and you should probably try to respect that at least a little bit. Let that into your life a little bit so you can learn a little bit more about yourself and your own history instead of just trying to push it off and ignore it as much as possible.
Right.
Which she seems to be doing just because it makes things easier.
Go along to get along. I mean, is it other black people's responsibility to try to put you on? Like if you don't know shit like that? I mean, I guess that's a larger question.
But to your point, someone needs to put a boot in her ass to figure it. Like,
I mean, not physically.
well, no, but someone needs to spur her on into. But who's to say that someone needs to do that?
Well, I would argue that I think she does because I think she's looking for it. That's why she has this connection with him. That's why she keeps coming back to him. I think it is something she craves, but she just doesn't know how to connect.
I don't think he's the way to do it for her.
Well, I would also agree with that. but I do think that there's something about him that she finds very attractive. And I don't think it's just physical. I think there is an emotional connection that they have that she doesn't have with her boyfriend because he's not black.
It's almost like an opposites attract type thing. Like they are completely on other sides, the two sides of the spectrum in this situation. They're both black, but he is far black militant. And she's like, I don't really care too much. I don't care. But
they both have that artist soul that you clearly see coming out.
Well, they're both in the indie scene,
right?
Which they talk about later on.
I guess it's a whole thing with being in San Francisco. Now he was talking about that the section of San Francisco. It's almost like you have to live in this city to completely appreciate this movie, and that was another reason why I didn't really like it too much because I mean the messages were there, but he starts talking about all of these areas. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. I have no idea I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
So how am I supposed to know this?
It is interesting because it is very local in some ways.
It's like you have to know exactly what they're talking about. So
that's true.
And I couldn't connect with that. So I really didn't care. I mean, I got the message, the overall messages, but I just didn't connect with the characters.
Yeah, like they didn't establish where Haight Ashbury.
I'm like, I know of Haight Ashbury, but the other
they didn't
places
establish where Mission Bay is. Like, you're not. How are you supposed to know?
Sounds like a fucking video game.
Welcome to Mission
Section Grand Theft Auto or something.
It's the last board on Outrun. It's been a long time since I played video games, guys. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. In some ways, it is hyper local. Like, hey, did you go to the taco stand on the corner of so and so and so? Like,
I know that place. I'm like, it's almost like The Wire. But The Wire was more interesting.
Well, The Wire had 5 seasons to flush it out.
Yeah.
Well, also The Wire stopped name dropping places after the first season when they realized it was obnoxious as shit.
Well, who the fuck knows?
Let's go to Prince George's County, and I'm like, nope, no one in the city thinks this is real.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right.
Okay, so then what I thought was actually a really funny scene is they decide to leave the apartment, go to the grocery store, and we get a little bit of more classic Wyatt Cenac from The Daily Show, which I liked.
Check it out. How do you do today? Me and the boy have to talk about things because he doesn't understand responsibility. And do impressions. Every black guy has a Bill Cosby impression.
I think so.
That was a terrible Bill Cosby impression. It was god awful. But I like that. You got to see a little bit of him coming through in the character, which I enjoyed. Because I actually like him, well, when he was on The Daily Show. Yep. He was funny as hell. All right, so from there, they go back to the apartment, and they start drinking a little bit of wine, doing what black people normally do, smoking weed.
It's offensive.
And
I've never smoked. No, I've never smoked anything. 2 cigarettes in 7th grade, and I was like, "This is dumb," and never did it again.
Cigarettes. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't see the appeal of this.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't say the same about weed. Anyway, so they go back. They're smoking, and if you've ever been around people who've smoked
This was
marijuana,
pretty accurate. I really liked.
This situation is every moment I've ever spent sitting next to some like hippie indie fucking black guy, and he's like, no, dude, it's not the weed talking. Let me tell you how it really is. I'm like, no, it's the weed talking, motherfucker. That's exactly what's happening. But they have an interesting conversation. Like, they're laughing about music and talking, like, comparing MC Hammer and Rick James, and they're laughing. They're having this great interaction. And then, of course, as Micah always does, Micah fucks it up. So
Yeah, Micah.
yeah.
Hey, you ever think about how black folks are only 7% of the city?
You have a real issue with race. You know that?
Obviously, but I'm serious, and this ain't the weed talking. You ever think about how we're only 7% of the city?
You're not 7%, you're Micah.
You know what I mean? Like, if black folks are 7% of the city, and then you take whatever 1 or 2% considers itself like punk or indie or folk or, just not what you see on BET, like, you ever realize just how few of us there really are?
No.
I mean, check it. You might go to a show, and for every, like, 300 people, there's probably one black person. Like, damn near guaranteed to have their arm around somebody white. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
You live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, I don't. Shut up. You live in San Francisco.
Moved to Detroit.
This is something that you know. I mean, I guess he was high and he just let it all out. But come on, dude.
You don't think? Do you think he makes a decent point at all?
I mean, he makes a point because that's just the way the fuck it is.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
It's like saying,
Terrence is right.
You ever think about how the sun rises in the east?
sets in the west.
sets in the west.
The fuck's up with
Why
that?
is that?
That's bullshit.
It's 100% of the time that happens. Like, why the fuck does that happen?
Well,
Like,
it's-
How
look,
come when I
because-
call people, they answer the phone? That's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
mean-
it's not the weed talking. It's not the weed talking. It seems like it's the weed talking. Yeah, I mean, I think he makes a good point. I think you get to see Joe's, once again, odd reluctancy.
You think he makes a good point?
No, I
don't
mean, no,
think-
I think he's pointing out something. Is what I should say.
it's valid. I mean, it's true.
It's
because
true. Yeah, that's all I
It-
mean.
It's true, but like Terrence says, shut the fuck up because that's where you are.
Yeah, no. What I mean to say is, yes, he's making a point, and I would argue a lot of people don't realize that black folks are only 7% in San Francisco. It's like, oh, black people are there in L.A. They must be there. No,
Not a lot of black people know that because clearly not a lot of black people live there. So,
exactly.
We are in like 8 cities in the United States. Really? Baltimore, D.C., Detroit.
I think I told you my
LA,
one friend
Miami.
from out west. She said that the East Coast is odd in that it's like watching God play chess because everyone's so integrated, whereas out west it's very, very segregated.
It is. Look, I lived in San Diego, California. We were barely 5%. It was like, oh shit, you look like me. You want to hang out? Serious. Hey, look.
And that's a natural reaction.
Like, hey, Mexican guy, brown enough. What's up, brother?
You know what? I was
serious.
I was in New Hampshire a little while
It's
ago.
not even a joke.
My girlfriend's visiting her family up there. We went to the beach up there, and
Wow, your girlfriend really is white.
Yeah.
New Hampshire. That's pretty white.
we're up there, and she still laughs about the fact that I made friends with the only black dude on the entire beach.
Of course.
You
better
gravitate towards what you know. It's
Right.
it's human nature.
It is. It is human nature.
So-
Except for when white people do it, because that's dangerous. No, I'm kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Are you kidding?
Right. There's some people who are, like I notice after watching this movie, I people watching, I'm noticing a lot more interracial couples in Baltimore.
Oh yeah,
And
we're coming up.
Well, not us. Well, black women apparently are coming up with they've found their white knights. Hey, I mean,
That is a terrible term.
white knight. Hey.
Double entendre. Yeah, we get it. We get it. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm I'm in an interracial marriage. My wife isn't white. My wife is Indian, but and she's actually a product of an interracial marriage. You know, she's half white, half Indian. But I mean, she gets a general pass from black folks because she looks Latino. They're like, oh, she's Puerto Rican. As we discussed in the last show, that's all right. You're under the accepted races
You're in the
category.
club.
Yeah, you're in the club. So I don't know. But yeah, Micah's character is really, really frustrating in a lot of ways. I'm like, dude, just take it easy. Just take it easy. I mean, but she also at the same time, she's like, did you ever think about that? No. Never did.
Yeah, she can be a little more.
She's very aloof.
Yeah,
just like
Yes, very much so.
I've never thought about it. You never thought about
really?
it?
Really? I don't believe you.
Yeah, like
right.
dude,
it's never, ever, ever, ever crossed your mind that
you're the black friend.
And look, if you live in that world, if you live in the world of Friends. You know that
Aisha Tyler was the only black person on that show ever.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you live in that world and you're comfortable with it, fine. But you don't even notice it,
right?
Like
yeah.
that's
we
weird.
haven't talked a lot about her character, but that to me is really frustrating. I've met black folks like that, and I'm just like, wait, you mean you never noticed? Yeah, motherfucker, you're the only black person in the entire building. It's just you and me. Like right now, it's just you and me. We're the only black people here. Yeah, of course I know that. I mean, come on, that's crazy. I for me personally, I've never felt more black than when I went overseas. Never felt more black. When I was in Cyprus, everybody there was like Russian, Polish. That's Latvia, that sort of thing. All Eastern Bloc. They ain't never seen a black person in real life. That's not even a joke. Dude. Walking, like people just like stare at you and their necks keep going as you walk by because they've never seen someone, and you're like, "Wow, I am the blackest motherfucker they have ever seen." Cab driver's like, "So do you play basketball or football?" Like, fuck you.
I would be.
What is wrong with that guy?
No, but dude,
cancer?
No. But no, the funny thing is, the people who live there totally fine because they're pretty fucking dark. They're like, "Hey, what's up, man? You're from America." They don't give a fuck.
Are you talking about the tourists?
The tourists from Russia and stuff like that? No. They were like, never seen it. Who have they seen? Michael Jordan on TV? That's the closest. That's the closest they've gotten. So,
yeah.
And you feel pretty goddamn black.
Yeah.
Look, there was a woman who came up to me at a party when my wife and I were there. And she was like, hey, because she was fucking Brazilian. She was like, hey, you're black. What's up? Like, she literally said, hey, you're black. She was like, yeah, like we're both black. It's cool. I was like, wow, we are both black.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, that is fucking crazy. But halfway around the world, somebody sees somebody and they're like, you look like me. Let me hold on to you because
human nature.
It's human nature. It's weird.
I also like to think that it's human nature not to be a dick to that person.
Yes, I would agree with that. Hey, you're black. Fuck off. Like, that's not a response.
Hey, you're black. Prove it.
How black are you?
How black are you? You're only Brazilian. I'm real black.
Let me touch your hair.
Yeah.
See how black you are.
Fuck off. Terrence, you were going to say something?
I've been in situations where I was the only black. Like when I first moved to Maryland, I moved to Cockeysville. I think you live there now.
Yeah.
It was all white. My family
It's not
was
quite
like
that anymore.
I've heard my family and like one or two others were the only black people there. So, and I was a kid, but I was looked at like I was different just because I was black.
Well,
because
you kind of are.
Yeah, I am, but it's an interesting feeling. So for him to live his entire life in San Francisco, where you're literally one of the only black people there, I don't see why he's making such a big deal out of it now, so that he's older. But I could see, like, if he were younger.
I mean, I guess it eats at you.
It's coming out because of the breakup.
Yeah,
the breakup.
That's what I think. That's what I think it is. I think the breakup is recent. I mean, that's the only reason that I can.
So is this his first and only girlfriend?
It could be his first white girlfriend.
It could just be a really, really important. I mean, if it depends on the relationship. Some
How-
breakups
right.
fucking suck.
Yeah, I get that, but considering the area he's in, I'm sure he's had maybe more than one or two girlfriends.
She might
So were
really
they all
fucked him
were
over.
they black prior to this one?
She
or
probably did something messed up
or-
because he
or
did
did-
take her bike.
yeah, he took the bike back. So I mean, she was white, but it must have been really horrendous.
She probably found the only other black guy in San Francisco.
And then went with
Wow.
yeah,
No,
that would be fucked up.
No. What would be fucked up is if she found a black woman and took her.
Oh,
Yeah, then now you can't even have that.
ain't that a bitch?
Like, oh man,
She did do something to him, especially with
it had to be pretty rough.
and the picture with his heart was ripped apart. Whatever happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
was
it could
rough.
have. He could have dated nothing but white women before that, but then this was the super serious relationship that he had, and everybody has that, and you have that breakup, and you're just like, well, god damn it.
It must have been serious because
So
he did buy
went-
her a bike.
So he gravitated straight to race when they broke up. When he was just like, "Fuck it, I can't stand white people."
He might. He's not the most stable
Yeah,
individual I've ever
he's
met.
a little crazy.
Yeah. So, so from there we get a conversation between Joe and Micah about how they define themselves, which I thought this is the sort of the telltale sign of everything we've been discussing. This they just straight lay it out there.
All right, check it. How do you define yourself?
Excuse me?
Like, how do you define yourself? If you had to describe, your idea of how you see the world, like, how would you do it in one word?
That makes no sense. People aren't that simple. How can you define yourself in one word?
Easy. Me, I'm a black man. That's how I see the world. That's how the world sees me. But if I have to choose one, I'm black before I'm a man. So therefore, I am black.
I don't see it that way.
Why not?
That's your problem. You feel you have to define everybody.
Thoughts?
That's his problem.
I mean, the whole defining thing, I don't like it either. But again, I agree with him. Look, I'm a black guy before I'm an American.
That's right.
I'm black before I'm a guy. It's just that, but that's just me, and I don't begrudge anyone who thinks differently. I got a buddy that I used to work with. He's kind of like her, and he's like, what? Like, we're all Americans. Like, it's it's all good.
No,
Are we? Are we? Are we?
Okay, but okay, you say now. I understand you're saying that yes, you're black, but is that all you are?
Well, certainly not. And I would never boil it down to, but it is in the long list of things that I am.
Douche.
It's pretty high up. Son of a bitch. It's towards the top. You know what I mean?
Now I'm going to say this.
I would never boil it down to one, because she's right. You can't boil someone down into one word. That's called profiling.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
Do that.
what she's doing. And the
Police
attitude
do it
she-
all the time. I don't see the problem.
The attitude she has, where she absolutely refuses to address any kind of race whatsoever. I can sympathize to a point because I've been there. Because of my upbringing, eventually at one point I was like, nope, I'm not going to be anything. I'm just me. Fuck this. I'm just me. I'm not anything. And it was a very long time before I got out of that and realized that was stupid. That it was a form of denying myself, which I was kind of disgusted with myself at that point in time. But I got beyond that, and thankfully I can say that it was a phase. But having gone through that phase, I look at her, I sympathize slightly, but mostly I kind of want to shake her out of it because it sucks.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you should understand that the world sees you. Just because you're like happy-go-lucky doesn't mean that's the way the world sees you, and you're trying to do your best to just ignore it and hope it goes away. It's not going to go away. That's not how problems get solved. I do define myself first as black, before an American, before nerd, IT guy, whatever the fuck, all of those things, even before a man, I am black. That's what I am. My DNA says this is how you're going to turn out. Whether you're light-skinned, as people in our community like to say, or albino, or very dark, it doesn't matter. I'm black. So
First and foremost, I'm amazing.
oh wow, okay, that's not true. But that's how I define myself. But I agree, you can't boil yourself down. Let me just say this: if you can boil yourself down to one phrase, you have a zero personality.
Interesting person.
Yeah, exactly. I'm black. That's it. I ain't got nothing else.
I'll say that, that this is the society we're in. You are black first. That's what this is our culture, and it is, like I said earlier, it is something to cherish and embrace and make a part of you. And while I am black first, I don't make that the center of my thinking. It's a huge part of it, and I filter it into every other part of me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I don't make it the only thing that I will focus on. Until there are of course times where it is something that you focus on when
like this show.
Oh yeah,
I mean, this is the four. No, I mean, I'm serious. The four of us are black. We're talking about black movies and black issues. When this show, when we hit the record button, I am Black J, like fucking Afro, pick, the whole fucking 9 yards. That I'm not militant, but that's who I am.
Do you have a Black Power fist? What you call it, hair pick?
I don't, because my hair has never been. My hair's never been that
long. Do you?
Long.
I know you do. Yeah. Do you? Where's yours, sir?
Fuck you guys! Don't judge me. You jerks.
I'm black. I'm black checking. I'm black checking.
Well, I have a shaved head. That's pretty goddamn black. So how about that?
Hey,
Michael Jordan, and a bunch of other
I haven't been able to use that thing in years, but damn straight I
never had one.
I'm disappointed.
I'm disgusted at this black checking.
This is my disappointed face.
That looks like your regular face.
Yeah, I know. I'm usually quite disappointed in you.
In me. Thank you. But I do think that there is a time to be black, and where you isolate yourself from the rest of the world, and you're saying like, okay, we're having our black moment. That's generally a cookout at my parents' house. Or something like that. No, I mean those are black ass moments.
Yeah.
They are, but they
black ass moments. You sitting around the table playing spades?
Yes, we do.
Hey,
eating fried chicken and playing spades. That's a pretty black ass moment. Okay?
What kind of soda do you have?
There's probably some grape soda in there.
Cool.
Or orange.
Thank you. Orange. OINGE.
Yeah, but I mean those are some black ass moments, and those are fine. And then I have my other moments where I go to work and I'm just like, all right, I'm the IT guy, but being black isn't all of who I am, nor is it a small part of who I am. And that's the thing about this movie, or these two characters, that I find the most interesting, is one wants to be 100% black all the time. That's all I know. That's all that matters, blah, blah, blah. The other one wants to be 0% and race doesn't matter at all. And I just want to go through life being beige, and I hope everyone else just realizes I'm beige. If you even look at the color of the movie and how it's designed, it goes from black and white to slightly gray, like a grayish color. It never fully goes bright. It brightens as their interaction becomes better, and then when it's not, it goes black and white again. It's really fucking fascinating. But it's to try to show that their color is not, because if you take San Francisco and you put two black people in it, they're really fucking obvious, right? Like they just are. They're 7%, right? They're really obvious against the background of the entire city. The people walking around, everything. But when you make everything gray, you try to take away, their specific race and try to just deal with their personalities, which I think is the reason why they do that. Maybe I'm reading a lot into it, but I think it is. So,
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way.
No? What'd you think of it?
I didn't. I thought it was I knew there was something there. I just didn't get it. And I'm just like, especially because the color comes back in at the end of the movie,
right?
When
that's when it's the brightest.
Yeah, when those two are never going to see each other again.
But maybe that's what they needed to do. Ultimately, I would argue, yeah, it kind of was.
I think
those two characters, I don't think are gonna. He's not gonna change. Maybe it opened her eyes up a little bit.
That's what I'm hoping.
But he's not gonna change.
I disagree with that. I think they both. I think they both affected each other in a large way.
Really, I don't know if she really affected him so much. I know he affected her quite a bit. He, I think, is just going to be a miserable fuck until he gets over it.
Yeah.
Because that's how breakups go. You are miserable until you're not.
Yeah. Now, so they go to this party. They're having a blast. They're drinking, having a good time. She finally gets him to just shut up about any racial issues. And they go to this party, and they have a blast, right? They're leaving the party, and he's tipsy.
He was twerking.
I don't need that image.
Nope.
He was twerking on her back.
I don't need that.
It was pretty terrible.
Yeah. So they're leaving the party, and he's a little tipsy, and they have he just fucking lets the entire game out, and he can't hold it back anymore. So here you go.
I mean, is it any surprise that folks of color in the scene date outside the race?
Okay.
I mean, think about it. Like everything.
No.
Think about it. Everything about being indie is all tied to not being black. Like everything is all tied to not being black. Like friends who are indie, white, bands who are indie. Like, okay, you got TV on the radio, but the rest of them are white.
Okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not. Like everything. I mean, people call it interracial dating, but there's nothing interracial about it. It's 9 out of 10 times, it's somebody of color hanging on to a white person. Like you never see.
Watch your step.
Fuck my step. You never see a fucking like a black girl and an Asian dude. You never see an Indian guy and a Latino girl. It's always one of us clinging on to one of them.
Hate.
Yeah. I would argue I've seen all of those. Should probably move out of San Francisco.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah.
I work with a woman. She's black and her boyfriend's Asian. So sorry. But I mean, I clipped that a little too early. But he does say, and look at you. Why do you have to date a white guy? And there you go. He's basically, I mean, not basically saying, he is saying we could be together. The two of us, black folks, could be together if you weren't dating a white dude.
Just because I think this is funny, he's doing this. He needs to fucking stop. Watch your step. Fuck my step as he continues to fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. Ironically, yeah, he just keeps putting his foot directly.
Sure that was intentional.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. But I mean, it was a pretty great scene just because he doesn't hold back anymore. The entire time he's like sort of like, oh, is he white? Oh, it depends. I don't know. Does it matter? Maybe it matters. Maybe it doesn't. And he's just sort of digging and digging. And like most times when people drink too much, they say shit that they mean. And
exactly.
And he did. And he doesn't think that interracial relationships are a good idea now that he's out of one. So, I mean, Rob, you clearly are dating somebody that's not black. I'm married to somebody who's not black. The notion of, do you get stares and things like that? Do you still get that?
If I do, I don't pay attention anymore. After the first month, I was like, fuck this. I don't even. We went to PG County once early in our relationship, and we did not stay long.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd go there.
I forget what we were doing there. We walked into Walmart, and we walked the fuck back out. We were like, fuck that. Because it was nothing but the stairs, and it was obnoxious. If we still get stares, I'm really not paying attention. But we definitely did, and it was mostly from black women.
Yeah.
Like with the most pissed off looking faces, and I'm just like, whatever, because what the fuck ever. I'm happy.
Does that still happen?
Yeah. It like I said, it doesn't happen to me now because my wife looks Puerto Rican. So not even joking.
Yeah, when you were dating Bizarro Mary Jane, like You still like you said you got stares like that, right? Like you noticed that.
Oh,
stuff, right?
yeah. I mean, she was white. She was also a redhead. Like, this is like the white of white. You know, like
Right.
it is about as far to the that side as you can get. Yeah.
Are you
Like,
surprised?
I'm not.
I went to Eldersburg with a black woman and I got stares.
Well,
I was in an Arby's getting something to eat and they were all staring at me like I was like a circus attraction. I was like, what the fuck are you looking? We got so uncomfortable. We didn't get any food. We left.
Wow.
That's how uncomfortable it was. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna
Now
leave.
imagine if she was white.
Right, exactly.
It would be like
So
1,000 times
so,
worse.
So how are you surprised? And this happened last year.
Man, god damn. I just
This is
Micah only stays at black only establishments.
yeah, apparently. Like I was
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I was watching Scandal and
I love Kerry Washington.
I
I just had to throw
do
that out
too.
there. Sorry.
That's okay. I understand.
did.
I was watching Scandal, and there was some things going on, and I made a joke to my girlfriend, and I'm like, "Oh, see, that's what she gets hanging around with those white guys all the time." And she was like, "Oh, not you too." I'm like, "What?" I was joking. And she was like, "No, everybody on Facebook, all the black men are pissed that she is in these relationships with
Oh, really?
white guy, right, with white guys."
Okay.
And I'm like, huh? Like what? I mean, it's.
Yeah. Let me just say this. Like, this will sound ironic coming from me. I talked about this. I remember a number of months back on the Nerdpocalypse. I think it pisses me off that you can't just have two black folks together on TV. They don't do that shit. The second a black woman gets popular, you were on that episode. I remember.
Yeah.
The second a black woman, female actress gets popular, they don't put her on. They don't put them next to a black leading man. They don't. They do not. Like, if Kerry Washington was a nobody and they had fucking Idris Elba on that show, they'd be together. But if Kerry Washington is seen as like universally hot and everybody's like, yeah, rock and roll, Kerry Washington's never going to be with a black guy on TV. Never.
The funny thing
It's
about
not
that
gonna
is that have you seen like what's the black dude? What's his name?
I forget his
can't
name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he asked to marry her, I think.
Yeah.
And they were like, nope.
What the fuck?
The reason for this, and this is not me just making shit up, this is from audience testing, is basically that white audiences, especially white male audiences, tend to find black men threatening. If they find someone attractive, they don't want to see a black man with that person, whether that person is black, white, or whatever. They don't want to see
Fuck what they
that.
think. How about that?
That it equals money. That's why.
The
That's
thing
fucking
about that
bullshit.
ABC,
Not
I don't
the statistic.
think
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
are white men the ABC's demographic?
Wouldn't it be like white women?
Men aren't watching Scandal.
Well, this gets back. This gets
I
back
watch
to your.
Scandal only because
Hold on. This gets back. This gets back
That's
to
the
the
only
Nielsen
reason why I
ratings.
started
This gets
watching
back to Nielsen ratings being fucked up, and whatever the hell they're doing in Hollywood to screen test these things. This is a lot of Hollywood screen test stuff too. This is why they'll say that if you watch a movie where it's an interracial couple, first of all, you're not going to see them in the lead, and if they're remotely close to the lead, and if they kiss or anything, more than likely it's going to be a white man with a black woman.
Well, we discussed the screen testing. Remember, we know how they do the MPAA. Is the screen is television screen testing the same way? It's just a bunch of old white freaking housewives from like Idaho watching these things. They bring them out to California and they have them watch these things. Like, well, who the fuck gives a shit what they think? Well, a lot of people apparently, because they're the demographic that they're looking for. Like, how the hell is CBS like the #1 fucking station in America? There's some terrible shit on that fucking station. like I can't watch CBS.
That's really funny. So terrible shit. You know why? Because a lot of people's TVs are broken and they can't change the fucking channel. This is either on or off. Yeah, but that, I mean, going back to the movie, that is.
Oh, there's a movie.
I forgot.
But that, I mean, but that's the thing that I like about the movie, because it creates a larger conversation. So in a way, Micah's right. Not real life Micah, but movie Micah.
Real life Micah.
He's never right.
IRL Micah. But yeah, movie Micah is right. You don't see a lot. I mean, I have seen, like I said, I have seen interracial couples that are not just white and something, but on average, it is, one of them, one of us, which I fucking hate that statement. It's ridiculous. But
Can I? And I
it's true
think
to a degree, though.
I think I just a slight idea of why that might be a bit more is that with white and black, it's the society of this country, whereas everyone else kind of immigrated and stuck to themselves. Whites and blacks had that special fucking relationship.
Right. Exactly. And that's what, when he said that, I was thinking about, now, as far as the interracial relationship between blacks and whites, once we got our freedom, air quotes, do you think it's one of those things where for so long it was a situation where we couldn't, and to this day kind of still, it's taboo, but we just couldn't have it, period, to begin with.
Yeah, it was illegal.
When we first got it, you would get killed by whistling at a white woman. Now that we can actually do it,
Get
fuck it. We'll go all in. And we become basketball stars. What do they kind of go straight for the white women? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing, and I can see why he's angry, because it's that thing that we want what we can't have. Now we can have it.
So we want it.
Yeah, we take it.
Well, in fairness, the NBA seems to be swinging more to the Armenian demographic. There seems to be a lot of that going on. Yeah. But God bless. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There is a level of built-in fucked up shit that carries on over generations, and people make a lot of money and they're like, I'm gonna get me a white woman. I made it. I don't believe in doing that. That's not my thing. I'm
just not that attracted to. It's just not what I do. I'm not really attracted to white women. I mean, I find some of them attractive.
Right. I mean, you're still human.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not what I gravitate towards. So
right.
I don't get it personally. But.
Right. Now, it's like, for me, I have an affinity for Middle Eastern women. I do. I do. God bless them. So I do. But I do. But I have an affinity for brown women of all kinds. So when I pick one, no, I'm kidding. That's terrible. So it's just what you're into, and that's fine. I don't look at it as, I am not against anything. Like, people are like, I only date this. I'm like, all right, well, you go ahead and limit yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to these other girls.
I'll go hit that.
Yeah. Like, I think that's stupid.
Like, more for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't. But yeah, I don't do that either. It's just that's just what I gravitate towards. It's
okay.
Just
it's okay to just say you're racist. It's okay.
Yeah, but I don't like white people.
I don't like those people. Fuck that.
I'm kidding.
No, but yeah, I mean, I think the overall point is. Terrence, the record button has not been stopped.
Oh my god,
that was awesome.
Just playing.
But I think overall, this movie is interesting from the perspective of what it brings up. From a movie perspective, it isn't the greatest thing, but from what it digs into, and what the conversation gets developed from that is the thing that is one of the reasons why I chose it, and I think that's why it was fun to do. All right, I think that's pretty much it for this week.
We got to establish the end of the movie though. She says, "Peace the fuck out."
Yeah, she basically sleeps with him and then leaves the next morning
without him knowing. Did she sneak her bike down the emergency escape?
No, I think she just walked it out of the door.
Okay, because that would have been really awesome.
There's it's on her back, Spider-Manning it out of the house. But I do think there might be a level of just general understanding that she wasn't going to be there the next day, but even from him.
Yeah, he kind of said that. It was like, just enjoy this night and then go back to your life.
Yeah. So I guess he figured, you're not really black enough. At the end of the day, I mean, they're serious. I mean, like, I need somebody blacker than you, and you ain't it.
Have fun looking for it.
Yeah, in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, you idiot.
You might want to cross. You might want to cross that bridge over to Oakland, buddy. So, yeah, who knows? Okay, so that's it for this week. Of course, we will be back with a preview episode next week, but we can just pretty much tell you, because this is a pretty obvious one. We talked about this in the past. We're going to be doing 42, the Jackie Robinson biopic that's coming out. So look forward to that. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be good.
That doesn't sound.
Yeah, after I saw Red Tails, I don't trust Hollywood anymore to handle that shit. Hell no. So so look forward to the preview episode for that, and we'll talk a little bit more about it then. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk 42. Of course, we're part of the Nerdpocalypse Network. You can catch us on blackonblackcinema.com and on facebook.com/blackonblackcinema. And we're on Stitcher Radio as well, so you can listen to us streaming on your cell phone when you're in your car. Share out the link for Stitcher. When you're on there, turn on the social media crap, and then share it out if you'd like. Share out our Facebook post. That would really help us out. And also put some reviews up on iTunes. That is a free and easy way to help us out without having to donate any cash. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
See you.
Take it easy.
Adios.
All right, bye.
We out.